All right, hello everyone. Sorry I've been a bit quiet lately. It's been a busy couple weeks, but I'm back. I'm here. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tiffany Toombs. I am the founder of Blue Lotus Mind, and people come to me to help them leave behind the self-sabotage, leave behind the fear, leave behind the self-doubt, get out of the feeling stuck, and move forward with their life in a way that they want. And even though they've done personal development in the past, they have gone to seminars or workshops, or they've read books, they've had other coaches, they tell me that they still feel like fear is a big player in their life, and fear stops them from taking action towards what they truly want. And so I help them rewire and get rid of that. And that's actually what I want to show you how to do on today's video. Before we get started, I just want to say that I do have a 2.5-day workshop that I run. I have multiple locations coming up where this is running, and in this workshop I show you exactly how these weeds in your mind got planted there and how we can pull them out, regardless of what area in your life it is that you want to make a change in, or maybe you want to make a change in all of them. So if you click on the link above, bluelotusmind.com/workshops/design your life. I know that's a really long link and I'm working on shortening it for you all. But until then, just click on the link above, bluelotusmind.com/workshops/design your life. And you can get your tickets to my next workshop. I've got one coming up in Dallas, one coming up in Houston, and one coming up in Charlotte. So let's get rolling. Now, every emotion exists because it's meant to tell us something. It's not necessarily meant to stop us, but it's meant to say, hey, just wanted to make sure that you're aware of this thing. And I was watching this video, or I was reminded of this video from Jim Carrey giving a commencement speech. I'm not sure where it was. If you just YouTube Jim Carrey commencement speech, it'll come up. But he talks about fear, how fear is going to be a player in your life. The thing is you make the decision whether or not you let that fear stop you. You determine how you perceive that fear. People have asked me many times, before you get on stage, don't you feel nervous? The thing is that I have butterflies in my stomach. I just don't perceive that as nervous. I perceive that as excited. And so the definition that we give to emotions that we have, the perspective with which we view these emotions, is what determines whether or not we allow these emotions to keep us stuck in place, or whether or not we actually move forward and do something with our passion and purpose in our life. Now, when you give in to these emotions, you're oftentimes going to feel stuck, directionless, without a purpose, not living your truth, not in alignment. And that's because there's a flip side of the coin, of the fear coin, that you're not looking at. And you have to determine what is scarier for you. People say to me all the time, when I first moved to Australia, for example, people said to me, that's so brave. I would be way too afraid to do that on my own. For me, the fear of not going was more powerful for me than the fear of going, because I had this voice inside me telling me that there was something that I needed to experience in Australia. And what happened in Australia has been a major turning point in my life that has led me to sitting here in front of you guys today. So for me, when people talk about the fear of getting on stage or the fear of running my business, the fear of not doing those things is far greater for me than the fear of actually doing them. And that's the exercise that I want to give you today. And so I'm just going to briefly run through it, but this is something that I do in more detail at my workshops. So if you want to fully understand your fear, get rid of it, get rid of the self-doubt, the negative self-talk, everything that comes along with those things, make sure you click on the link above, bluelotusmind.com/workshops/design your life, so that you can get your tickets to my next workshop coming up in Dallas, so that you can get rid of this and make sure that 2019 is the best year of your life. So what I want you to do is just take a piece of paper, just a normal old piece of paper, and at the top I want you to write down what it is that you are afraid of. I'm afraid to start my own business. I'm afraid to raise my prices. I'm afraid to ask this person out. I'm afraid to stand up on stage and speak. Whatever it is that you're afraid to speak of, write that thing down. And then what I want you to write down is, what is the worst case scenario? Let's work on the, I'm afraid to start my own business. I'm afraid, what if I fail, right? So the worst case scenarios are that you fail, you know, the business doesn't succeed, you lose money. I mean, I've done this exercise so many times, I can't even think of a worst case scenario anymore, probably because something worse has already happened to me. So write down all of the worst case scenarios that you can think of, as many as possible. Then what I want you to do is say, okay, if the worst case scenario happened, what could I do to prevent it from happening again? Or what could I do to repair it? So for me, I'm not afraid of failing because I've hit rock bottom before. And I know that once you hit the bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. Right? And I know that I've climbed out of that hole a couple times, so for me, that's not a big deal. If you've never hit rock bottom, I fully appreciate how scary that can be. And so what could you do to either prevent yourself from failing to that level or to climb out of that hole if it did happen? You know, people might make fun of you, might be something that you talk about as being a worst case scenario. Well, what could you do to prevent that? Stop caring. Recognize that people are going to make fun of you or be haters whether you go for that thing or not. So why let them stop you from doing something that you truly want? One thing that Jim Carrey said that really hit me and that I've been sharing with like anyone and everyone since I rewatched that video of his was that, you know, his dad didn't think that he could make a living from being a comedian, so he got the safe job and became an accountant. Well, 12 years later, his dad got released, got laid off from that safe job, and their family could barely survive. And he says you can fail at doing something that you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on what you do. And really, for me, that's what this whole exercise is about, is showing you that your fears are often not as scary as you think they are, and that the opportunity lost or the cost of passing up on that opportunity is typically far greater than any of the worst case scenarios. But I digress, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you've written down the fear, you've written down the worst case scenario, you've written down what you could do to repair the worst case scenario if it happened, and what you could do to prevent the worst case scenario from happening. Then on a scale of 1 to 10, write down how bad that worst case scenario would be. And 10 is death. 1 is like, meh, barely noticed it happened. But 10 is death. Then I want you to ask yourself, what would be the benefits of an attempt or a partial success? Because we tend to see the world as black and white and all or none. Like, I'm either going to be super successful or I'm going to be an absolute failure. That's not the way the world works. There's shades of gray in there, 50 if you've read the book. So there's shades of gray in there, right? It's not to say that you're going to hit rock bottom straight away, and it's not to say that you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. You're going to have trials and tribulations. And I've said this before, and I will say it again and again and again. Any coach, any book, any program that tells you that by doing their program or their stuff, that you will never have a problem again in your life, you need to turn yourself around and run like hell in the other direction, because that's a bold-faced lie. The only way that we learn is by facing the trials and tribulations, is by facing those challenges. So you need to face those challenges to get to that next level. So what would be the benefits of starting this business? And maybe you didn't make $1 million. Maybe that one business idea didn't work out. What could you possibly learn from that? I have failed epically in business before. One of my businesses, like literally overnight, had a $1.8 million loss. And I'm still here to talk about it because there was lessons that I learned that have led me to where I am today. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is the cost? What is the cost to you physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually for not going after this thing? If you stay stuck right now, right where you are, and you stop moving forward, what would be the cost of that to your soul, to your mind, to your heart, to your family, to the world around you? I have people reach out to me every day saying thank you for the difference that you're making in the world. I also have people reaching out to me every day telling me that I'm a scam or that I'm full of crap or whatever, and those are not my people. I have people who reach out to me every single day and tell me what a change I've made in their life, whether they've worked with me one-on-one or come to some of my workshops, whether they've watched just a video or a book or read my book. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm changing people's lives, that's all I care about. And so if I had given in to my fear, if I'd gotten that safe job and stayed stuck where I was, I wouldn't have touched those people's lives. So there's a global impact to you staying stuck in your fear. So if you're ready, like truly ready to get rid of your fear, your self-doubt, your self-sabotage, everything else once and for all, you need to click on the link above, bluelotusmind.com/workshop/design your life, and be at my next workshop. I've had people fly down from Canada. I've had people fly in from Wisconsin. So there's really no reason why you can't be there. You can make it happen. You just have to decide that you're sick of being at where you're at now and decide to make that change, because I know that you're worth it, and I want to make sure that you know that you're worth it. So if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments and I will answer them quickly. Hannah, Zoe, thank you so much for jumping on here and joining me. That's it for today. Make sure you do this fear worksheet. Do this fear exercise. And do it as many times as you need to, on as many fears as you need to. Because this is important. This is your life. You only get one life. Stop wasting it. Live every moment to the fullest. Love every moment and enjoy every moment that you have, because that's what you were put here for. And to think that the universe or God or whoever it is that you believe in put you here to be anything less than magnificent is a bold-faced lie. And you deserve better than that. So I'm going to head back out to this Marshall Silver event that I'm at today, and I will talk to you all soon, but make sure you click on that link above. I'm also coming to New York, by the way, in May. So I've got Dallas, I've got Houston, I've got Charlotte, and I've got New York on the calendar for this year for workshops. So click on that link above, bluelotusmind.com/workshop/design your life, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow.